Rising sun wakes me with his kiss. Oh, I can tell by the way you sleep. What kind of sleep is it? What kind of sleep is it? So dream warm and tender, 'cause I won't surrender. I won't surrender my heart to another. I'm a
Welcome to another edition of CTJamz, entertainment talk with your host Don Padgett. Got a wonderful program for you today. We actually sit back, relax, and enjoy this programming. And make sure you tell a friend, tell a neighbor, tell a relative, and make sure you share the broadcast. And you've been listening to SiloamPool, and it was so great to have her here. She's backstage, and we're gonna bring her on shortly, but we want you all to just share the broadcast. All right, thank you. All right, without further ado, we have SiloamPool. How you doing, Siloam? How are you?
I'm well, Donald. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you, and welcome to CTJamz and V Network Radio. Got a wonderful program. I'm telling you, we've been just waiting for this program and this interview, because it takes us to a different perspective, and the name of your project, I just want to show this wonderful, lovely cover, SiloamPool, Simple Complexity. Tell us about yourself and how you got started.
I'm a Detroiter, born and
Right.
raised. Love the Motor City. I think I was born with music already flowing through my veins. My first introduction was growing up in a household that was always full of music. My parents,
Uh-huh.
we listened to everything, Motown, jazz. My mother loved classical music, so we were exposed to just about all of it.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I see it so much of diversity in your music style that you have, and wow, it is awesome. But before I want to get into all the questions, I just want to thank all of our listeners. We want to thank Beacon of Light Radio, and so many others are saying hello. We have Joanne Short. She's out here, and so many are chiming in the back channel. Thank you all for tuning in to this wonderful interview with Siloam. The different types of blend of music that you present. You present a classical R&B, a neo soul, jazz, smooth jazz, a jazzy sound, all wrapped up into one. Tell us about your music style, and I want to hear it from you direct.
Well, you pretty much took the words right out of my mouth, because what you just said is exactly what it is.
Yeah.
It's all the music that I love. I love jazz. I love
Hmm.
jazz fusion. I love soul music. I love
Wow.
R&B. I love great music. I love classical music.
Exactly.
Classical Domingo and music like that. So um, it's influenced uh, the way I write, the way we compose, the way we arrange. We create from that space of the music that we love and we were exposed to. It definitely has found a, a, a voice in our flow. I'll put it that way.
I first met you at the Urban Influencers meeting, and I'm telling you, you did an awesome job, and all of the urban influencers are out. I want to thank Leo Brown that's out there. He's one of he's on the gospel side, but speaking with you, we got the sense of, a purity, a person. Tell us about your project, and I just want to let everybody see the project that you have, the new 2021 project, SiloamPool Simple Complexity. What gave you the inspiration to create this project?
The the project had been in the works for quite some time. I've been writing for a while, and it was a form of expression.
Mm-hmm.
I love great music. I heard entertainer say this one time. It was actually D.L. Hughley, and he said, "If you want better," he was talking about television, and he
Mm-hmm.
said, "If you want better television, write it." And what he said was very, very impactful to me, and that if I was craving the kind of music I wanted to hear, then why couldn't write it? So
Mm-hmm.
it became a form of expression. It became a way of learning the art of songwriting, because there's definitely an art to it and a formula for it. And so simple complexity's been in the work for a long time. Um, Learning how to what your style, what our style is, and was to become, and then a collection of songs that work together to
Mm-hmm.
create what complexity became or is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And and I look over the listing of the songs that you have. I mean, there's a wide variety. My new friend, 1 a.m. And my favorite that I've been played over and over, Warrior. And we're going to talk about that. What influenced you to write this song? Till the day, Let It Go, 7 days. And I love 7 days because it gives me a sense of peace. Simple complexity, downtown train, speak easy, and circle of life. Which is another favorite of mine, and Speak Easy, of course. um, let's go into Warrior. We all heard the first track that played, Warrior, which is a wonderful track. What inspired you to write that particular project?
I'm really glad you asked about that particular song. Warrior is about protecting that love that you have with another person.
Uh-huh.
Love is very, very fragile. And because of the impact it has on us as individuals, it deserves to be protected. So for me, the song was an inspiration to let that person that I love know that they didn't have to be concerned with me straying or someone drawing my love or attention away from them.
Mm-hmm.
And that gives the other person peace and a sense of safety in being in love or loving you. So that's really what warrior is about, because you have to be a warrior to protect love. It
Right.
requires a lot because there's always a lot coming at it that may not be good for it.
And just when I'm looking up, I'm kind of reading some of the comments, and we got Beacon of Light. radio station. SiloamPool's music sounds awesome. And then also, just encouragement. He said, I was just saying that to someone today, talking about the warrior, and I'm telling you, it's it's ironic because I was thinking about coming up with something, another song of yours, but that warrior just stuck in my mindset because we all need to have a sense of peace during this time. With so much going on and changes in our lifestyles, changes in our work, changes in our community, changes in our churches, our homes, and that, you need a warrior, whether it's the love for a person or a love for God in your life. And speaking of, you started out, singing in the church choir, correct? You started singing in the church choir and back home.
Actually, I did not. I was raised Catholic, so our church choir was very different than maybe a person might would think of if you were thinking about maybe a gospel choir or
Mm-hmm.
something like that. I was so the singing in church as a kid, it was singing in mass or school programs like Easter time or
Mm-hmm.
Christmas time. But really singing in a full blown choir was
Mm-hmm.
something that didn't happen until for me much later in life. And if anyone reads on my website, they'll
Right.
see that they'll come to understand that I was an extremely shy person. And
Mm-hmm.
so I had some major hurdles with that prevented me from involving myself in music the way I really wanted to. So I was a very late bloomer
Mm-hmm.
musically, even though the passion was there since I had been a little girl.
Yeah. And and what made you decide to go into the field of entertainment? Yeah.
I, to be honest,
And I heard that you wanted to be a doctor.
well, actually, my first dream was to be a singer. As a
Uh-huh.
little girl, I saw Diana Ross sing on TV,
Yeah.
and my reaction was
Uh-huh.
because I saw this beautiful woman who
Uh-huh.
sounded amazing, and she looked like me.
Oh, wow.
So I identified with her. And so early from a very little girl, I wanted to be a singer. But as I said, I had this huge impediment of shyness. And so it prevented me from pursuing it. So
Mm-hmm.
my second choice, because I couldn't seem to overcome the shyness, was I love science. I'm a science nut.
Mm-hmm.
And was because I love helping people. I don't like seeing people hurting. And was to go into medicine. So that's how I actually ended up studying science,
Wow.
in
Yeah.
college. Yeah,
And you went to the University as a Michigan?
that's right. Go blue.
All right. All right. And you took, music courses there. And is that what gave you that extra push to want to become in the music industry?
It did. What I decided was because that that urge just was it would not stop. It was ever present.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, okay, I could take some private classes where I don't have to be in front of people. And so that's where I started taking private vocal lessons as a part of my college coursework. Took
Right.
some music theory classes, learning about music. And so, you have those electives that you can take along with your core classes. So I took my electives were music courses.
Wow.
That started to help me overcome. Plus, I was getting older. It started to help me deal with what I needed to deal with the shyness.
Wow. That is awesome. And I just want to go down the list. And earlier I went down the list of songs, and because I want to get all my favorites in. And Circle of Life. Let's talk about that and what inspired you to write that project.
Circle of Life, the opening line is riding around this old town, parallel highs and lows abound. I was riding around Detroit, my hometown,
Mm,
and you can see these dichotomies of a city who's had a lot of challenges,
mm,
and we're a great comeback city, right? And so there was a lot of rebuilding going on, but then there was a lot of in the rebuilding that was going on in our neighborhoods, there was still a mixture of decline and rebirth. And then in our like downtown area, there was this great surge of new development going on, which is we're all very excited. And watching that, the people that inhabit both speaks Circle of Life speaks to those people that inhabit both dichotomies. At the end of the day, as people, what I was inspired to talk about in Circle of Life was when children are given to their parents, when they're
mm,
born, or even if you're adopted, that that parent has such an amazing gift. And we as society are depending on that parent to do a great job, the best job they can to raise
mm-hmm.
that person so that the world benefits from the gift of your child. And
Wow.
it's our responsibility to nurture your children when we encounter them. But that's what Circle of Life is about. It's about us as human beings, encouraging one another. But it starts off with that child and that parent doing the best job they absolutely can to raise
And
that
when you're
child.
not like into the music, because I know you do like jazz concerts and performances and things like that. When you're not, what are you passionate about as an individual?
As an individual is sharing those things that were instilled in us. I'm one of seven siblings, and having a great sense of others is something that our parents were really um, stressed in rearing us. It's not about you. It's about uh, making sure that what you're doing is a positive impact on someone else. And
Mm-hmm.
so being able to do that in my daily life, whether it's something, it doesn't have to be anything grandiose. It could be like last week, I was at the grocery store and this lady, she said, "Can you get that off the shelf for me?" She couldn't reach it. It's those small things.
Yeah.
I've had to ask people, thank God for tall people, because I couldn't reach something in the store before, and I'd see a young person or a person that was tall, and
Mm-hmm.
could you please help me? So those are the kind of things that I'm passionate about, is being good to one another whenever we get a chance. If someone gives you too much change, do you keep it or do you give it back?
Right. Mm-hmm.
Simple things.
Mm-hmm. And we have a question out here that's being raised. He says, other than Diana Ross, who else inspired you to want to sing in either jazz, soul, or neo soul?
People that know me know that Al Jarreau was my vocal
Yeah.
muse.
Yes.
Love, love, love.
Yes.
And for so many reasons. And if you've ever had a chance to see him in concert, whenever he was here,
Mm-hmm.
we would go see him. He was extremely entertaining, hilarious. He had a huge sense of humor, but he was so uninhibited.
Mm-hmm.
He was creative. He was very intelligent, but he was so uninhibited. And that
Right.
was something I really admired about him. As I love Dee Dee Bridgewater. I really like her. She is a young artist who is extremely gifted, poised, and she brings it. I love watching her.
Yes. And I want to thank those that are watching also on YouTube. We got some folks that's out there watching on YouTube. Catalin Gibbs, and so many others that are watching on YouTube that's back channeling us. Thank you for watching on YouTube. And we're so happy that you were able to join with us on tonight. Um, I just want to show everyone that just tuned in your project. And I'm telling you, it's a wonderful project. It has an assortment of different variety of songs and that match your needs. SiloamPool, a simple complexity. Wonderful, wonderful project. 2021. Tell us, has this year been a challenge for you as a music artist in the industry, or has it been, something that a learning experience?
It's been a learning experience. I wouldn't say it's been a challenge for me personally in the
Mm-hmm.
music industry, in that when the pandemic started, we were still in production. When we're in production, I don't generally like to do too many shows because I really like to stay focused on the production.
Mm-hmm.
So it hadn't been a challenge. The challenge has been right now is not being able to do shows.
Mm-hmm.
Folks, there were people that said when were releasing the album, are you going to do a listening party? Man, we wanted to do a listening party,
Yeah.
but this wasn't safe.
Right.
And me being me, I would rather everyone stay safe, and then we can get together when we come to a safe place in this pandemic.
All
So
right.
no, it hasn't been challenging. The hardest part, I would say, is not being able to be in person with,
Mm-hmm.
our listeners, and being able to do shows and
Yeah.
interact on that level with people that are listening now.
Yep. Um, Speak Easy, another one of my favorite neo soul sound, and it's like, man, wow.
That's an interesting one because
Mm-hmm.
I know there are times when people may stay in relationships they know, or jump into relationships they know, that you have this gut feeling of like, yeah, I don't know, but there's
Mm-hmm.
this pull that you want to go into it, but there's something that's like not quite right, and
Mm-hmm.
that's what Speakeasy is about. It's about, we've started down this path together. I'm seeing some things and I'm hearing some things. So break it to me now before we go too far. Because, if we break it now, it's
Yeah.
fine. If
Yeah.
we go too far, I don't want to go there. That's
Right.
what Speakeasy is about.
Um, and one of the things I want to bring out to all of our listeners out there, and we have a wide variety of listeners from the gospel scene to the blues scene to the jazz, smooth jazz scene, R&B, hip hop scene. Jazz is a form of music that, it relaxes. I know for me, it relaxes me. Just like your song 7 Day. And I'm gonna ask you what inspired you to write that also, and to get into that. But yeah, I mean, jazz is a form of music that is full of life. And what is jazz to you?
Jazz is life.
Mm-hmm.
Because just like you just said, for if and there's so many forms of jazz, but jazz, it can be mellow, it can be fiery,
Mm-hmm.
it can be happy, it can be sad. It's so expressive.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that's what I love about it, is
Mm-hmm.
how diverse it is.
Yep. And once again, we want to take a look at the project Salome Pool, Simple Complexity, and uh, 7 Day, the song 7 Days. What made you, and you, it featured Dave McMurray,
Mhm.
and tell us about that and in that experience and that collaboration.
7 Days is a song about God's love for us.
Mm-hmm.
And in order for us to grasp the depth of his love, 7 days is just a span of time so that we as human beings have some bookends to give it. But
Mm-hmm.
the very opening line of the song is eternity created because I wanted somewhere to love you.
Wow, that's
That,
powerful.
yeah, so I can't take credit for that. The Lord actually gave me those lines. I wish I could write that well, but he actually spoke to me. He
Wow.
actually spoke to me and gave me those words because he wanted people to know how much he loves them.
Mm-hmm.
The collaboration with Dave McMurray, the song originally did not have a saxophone on it,
Mm-hmm.
and our my radio promoter, when we went to radio with 7 Days a couple of years ago, he suggested adding a saxophone to it, and I
Wow.
immediately thought of Dave McMurray.
Wow,
So
that's
that's how that collaboration came about, and it took the song to a whole nother place.
um and tell me, if you had to collaborate with a jazz artist, or I know you've done some collaborations, who would you collaborate with? If you were, had to record tomorrow, and they say, okay, you got to collaborate with someone, who would you?
Mm. The first person that pops into my mind, and this may throw people way off, would be Seal.
What?
Seal is an amazing songwriter.
Yeah.
He is an amazing his his style, because it's got sort of like this little edge to it. You know his voice when you hear it.
Right.
His songs have identity.
Mm-hmm.
You feel what he's talking about. They're just not, it's just not a beat and some words. There's depth and meaning when he records a song.
That's
And
right.
I just think that that would be a collaboration that would be a lot of fun, and that our voices probably would uh, commingle very well because they're
Mm-hmm.
very different, but I think they will complement each other very well.
Yeah.
So Seal would be one of those ones I'd love to write with.
And um now, do you listen to like Ella Fitzgerald songs, to take little runs or things from Ella Fitzgerald? Because like I said, I hear so many different styles in your music, um when it comes out to your music.
I've listened to Ella, but just as a someone who appreciates Ella, not too long ago I watched a documentary about her and her career.
Mm-hmm.
But as a singer, no, I did not. And I'm not someone who was big on doing runs. And I
Mm-hmm.
think when I started singing gospel, that was one of the things that intimidated me the most because I knew I didn't sing in that traditional way.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Vocally, I would say there's so many. A lot of them are men, though. But Dionne Warwick, she delivers beautifully.
Okay.
Whitney Houston, obviously, I mean, she was
That's
amazing.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, Whitney Houston was amazing. But see, I'm always looking at delivery. I listen to the song because the song grabs our attention. The music grabs our attention first. I'm very much a lyric person. I'm a songwriter. What are they saying? What are they talking about? And then the vocal delivery, being able to find a place in all of that
Mm-hmm.
to serve it up. And that's the kind of music I love.
Yeah.
And that's why I write a lot of the way that I do.
Wow. Hey, could you let us know how can the viewers out there that on YouTube, on social media, Facebook, can get your music? How can they, get your music?
The best thing would I would suggest is go to SiloamPool.com.
Mm-hmm.
Every link is there. You can learn about Siloam Pool because Siloam Pool is a band. I'm the Siloam portion, but the pool is actually the band and everyone that we meet along the way. So you can learn more about us. You can all the links to social media are there, and the links to where you can purchase Simple Complexity is there as well. And if you
Wow.
need to get a hold of us, the forum is there too to reach out to us.
All right. Great, great, great. Um, and if you could change anything in the music industry, or improve anything in the music industry, what would it be?
If I could change anything in the industry, and it was just like one thing, is that artistic expression is some creative artistic expression and individuality be
Mm-hmm.
embraced.
Okay.
There are so many artists who have their own voice. They
Mm-hmm.
don't sound like anyone else. That may not always be popular,
Mm-hmm.
but oftentimes that is what ends up being most desired by us as listeners, is that new voice, that different voice. So I would love to see that be more considered popular, is
Mm-hmm.
to be different.
Yeah. Um, and tell me, where have some of the places that you've gone? Have you traveled far and near for performances, or just local area?
I sang and toured with Fred Hammond for about a year, so we were everywhere, stateside. We
Wow.
did not get a chance while I was with Fred to go overseas. So I've been singing across the country for a while.
Yeah.
So far as with Simple Complexity or with Sloan Pool, we've been pretty much in our own region. But
Yeah.
now that the album is out, we're looking to come to a city near you,
All
whether you
right.
be on this continent or another continent.
All
So
right. And yeah, and we love all the songs that you have on this project, and you have other projects too, correct?
years ago, I did an EP, and
Mm-hmm.
that was my way of testing the water, so to speak,
You're
because I
right.
was new as a solo artist. I've always been a background person, and as a shy person, I was fine with that.
Mm-hmm.
But the EP that we came out with, this was like early 2000, was testing the waters as a songwriter, as a solo artist. But this is our first full album.
Project. Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah. Awesome. Um, Let It Go. You know, even the words. Just explain to us your feeling on that one.
We all had things we needed to let go of.
Uh huh.
Some of them we were clinging to, but we knew we needed to let it go. Those things, they hold us back. And I can identify with it because I was shy most of my, life until I got to be well into my 20s.
Mm-hmm.
And it was a great inhibitor. So it could be things, it could be people, it could be places, but deep down inside of us, we know those things we need to let go of.
Right.
But once we do, we really begin to be who we are meant to be.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna take us out with that song, and we're gonna take this opportunity to thank you, and I want to thank Caitlin Gibbs and so many that's out there that's tuned in for joining us, and thank Mr. Leo Brown and so many others back channeling us. And it's been a pleasure and an honor to have you on our platforms, and we've been streaming on both of our platforms, and all of our social sites shared. So thank you so much, Shalom, and much success to you in your music.
I want to say thank you. We really appreciate you, Donald, for inviting us on and sharing us with your listeners. And to each of you who are listening tonight, thank you from the bottom of our hearts from Salone Pool. And we look forward to meeting you and being in touch with you.
Yes, definitely. And we're going to take it out. And I just want to show this wonderful cover. Don't forget to go out to all digital outlets and go to and your website again. Shalom.
It's SiloamPool.com. And if you don't know how to spell Siloam, it's in John 9:7.
All right. Wonderful, wonderful. And we'll show this cover again while we take us out. Let it go. Let it go. All right.
But you give some down, and you've been giving in. Deception is leading you round and round. What's the lie you're believing? Just don't believe it no more, no more. Come on, this is your moment to be free. Your light's meant to shine. Come on and try. Won't you come on, let it go? Ooh, it'll be alright. Won't you come on, let it go? Come on, heal all that hurt.
All right, you all just have been listening to an interview with SiloamPool. I tell you, you're an awesome artist, and don't forget to support her in her music and go out to her website and support her. Hey, tomorrow night, we're going to be back on tomorrow night with our Christmas special, and we want everybody to come on back out tomorrow night. And we've got so many artists. We've got Sandra Busby, Cleavon Smith, Dr. Tevis Harris, Jeanette Adams, and John Turner. And also, we got a special guest for you from the Brooklyn All-Stars. Yes, the legendary Brooklyn All-Stars. We have Mr. Ben Sonny McCleary. I'm telling you, you want to come on back so we could bring you more good gospel music artists, showcase from CTJamz, smooth jazz R&B, soul artists. I'm telling you, we're doing it up here at the V Network Radio, bringing you the best in music. All right, so stay tuned on tomorrow night and see ya. God bless.